All right. Are you feeling tired, have brain fog, struggling to concentrate? Many people are just holding on for dear life until the time when their leave kicks in. So how do we cope? Let's give you some tips now. And we speak to Dr Anesu Mbizvo, who is a medical doctor, a yoga teacher, and holistic wellness entrepreneur. Thank you so much for your time. Let's just start with something that we are all talking about, and it's a term that is thrown out there, and that is end-of-year fatigue. What is it?
So essentially, and welcome, thank you so much for having me first and foremost. It's lovely to be here. But I think we can all resonate with this term, year-end fatigue, and it really has to do with what we call burnout. So burnout is essentially a state that we find ourselves in when we've been in a state of chronic stress. That essentially means that our fight or flight response has been activated for prolonged periods of time. And this depletes our energy stores. So when we experience year-end fatigue, generally we feel very depleted. We feel like we don't have the energy to do even the most menial of tasks. Getting up in the morning, for example, having healthy conversations with our colleagues, friends, or loved ones can feel tiresome. And it really has to do with that buildup of not managing our stress effectively during the year, and then almost having that payback come back to us at the end of the year, where those deadlines are tight, we're having to make plans for the festive season, and everything seems to come to a head.
Sure. And I wonder, though, how much of our busy social calendars as well also add to this?
100%. You know, a lot of people think that burnout just has to do with having to perform more at the end of the year at work. But we also find that this time demands a lot of us in our personal and social lives as well, as you said. So all of those plans that we're having to make to meet family, those visits during the weekend, actually end up taking up a lot of our energy. And because those times of the weekend or times after work are generally meant to be reserved for refueling our tank, if that time is not used effectively, what we then find is that we feel even more tired after having these periods of rest than we would do if we were actually adequately taking that time off.
Sure. You know, you think about the fact that we've been through a stressful year. The interest rates have gone up. There's just so much that's happening. You know, the rising cost of living, rolling blackouts, etc. A lot of people have been stressed throughout the year. And I wonder then, how do we begin to ensure that we are not consistently stressed out and thus getting to this point of burnout at the end of the year? How do we cope?
I think the first point of coping is recognizing where you are, right? So this theme of self-awareness, being able to reflect and recognize our red flags when we are entering into a stage of burnout. So what that can look like is usually your sleep will be affected. You'll either feel like you're undersleeping or oversleeping. The same thing happens with our nutrition and our food. We either start to overeat or undereat, almost as a way of our body showing us and sending us signs and signals that we need to take our stress seriously and we need to take a break. So that first moment of self-reflection is the first point of recognizing that, yes, I am in a state of fatigue and I am in a state of burnout. The mechanisms of how we fix that are really about scheduling time in for ourselves in our schedule. Now, this doesn't have to be prolonged periods of time, 30 minutes or an hour. Sometimes it's as simple as taking 5 deep breaths at the end of your commute in the morning before you head into the office, just creating a moment of pause before you enter your workday to give that back to yourself. I also find that doing breathwork exercises often is very powerful because physiologically, what happens when we breathe deeply is our diaphragm sends a message to our brain to take us out of that fight and flight response. And the wonderful thing about the breath is it's free. We can access it anytime. And it's very simple. We all know how to breathe. We were born knowing how to breathe. So just doing a couple of breathing techniques, I was hoping I might be able to actually show you
I was really going to ask you to do that because honestly, you already talk about time to yourself and my anxiety is just shot up because I'm thinking, how do I do that with a consistently buzzing phone and competing needs? So how do we take these deep breaths? Please show us.
Okay, perfect. So the first breathing technique that I'm going to show you just requires about 2 minutes of your time. And you're right, when we think about self-care, we don't want our self-care to be adding even more stress to our lives. So just dedicating a small amount of time is vitally important. You want to bring your body into a relaxed position. That's always the first place where we start. Relaxing the shoulders, resting the hands with the palm facing up on the thighs. And maybe you want to close your eyes. I mean, you're in studio. That might bring in a little bit of anxiety in its own right.
I'm closing my eyes.
But shutting off the world. There we go. Shutting off the world by closing the eyes is a really great way to disconnect. We're going to start off by taking a deep breath in through our nostrils. And then open the mouth, sigh that breath out. Feel your shoulders relax even deeper down your spine as you exhale. We're going to take another deep breath in through the nostrils. Try to puff out your belly. What that does is it gives the diaphragm more space to stretch. And then open the mouth, sigh that breath out, and let it go. Now, you can open your eyes now, continuing to breathe deeply. Our breathing exercise is called box breathing. So we're going to create a box with the breath. We're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath in for 4, exhale for 4, hold the breath out for 4, but I'll guide you through it at first. So let's start. We're going to take a deep breath in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath in the lungs for 4, 3, 2, 1. Sigh it out. Release that breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out of the lungs for 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that breath in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out gently. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold that breath out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just taking a deep breath in as long as you can. Exhaling when you're ready. And that took us less than 2 minutes. But what we've actually done on a physiological cellular level is checked out of our stress response. And that's a very, very useful tool that you can use at any point in the day. It's safe for absolutely everybody, even if you have chronic health conditions. And the more you practice this, the more you'll feel like you have a sense of control over your nervous system and over your stress.
Oh, I loved that, because now a lot of people are going to take this moment for themselves. They're going home for the festive season, lots of anxieties for the holidays and everything. But just that, under 2 minutes, really helped a lot of us. And I hope the viewers were able to also just get a lot of help as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for keeping us calm. Now I know exactly what to do in the next 2 minutes. That was Dr. Anesu Mbizvo. Thank you. That was Dr. Anesu Mbizvo, who is a medical doctor, a yoga teacher, and holistic wellness entrepreneur. Did you do the 2-minute breathing exercise with us? I hope you did, because I certainly feel better.